Hey guys, check out NowThatI'mOlder.com every Thursday for a brand new episode of the podcast, Now That I'm Older. It's a show about how getting older sucks but can be awesome at the exact same time with your host, Shane Smith.
Woo! Wheeling, dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun!
And Ken Baldwin.
The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
We talk about things that happened to us when we were younger. We talk about some random news stories, and we basically just sit around and shoot the shit. So check out NowThatI'mOlder.com every Thursday for a brand new episode. Thanks a lot.
Hello, my name is Corey.
This is not how you're going to talk, Corey.
Okay, sorry. Hey, guys, this is me, Corey. Welcome to today's episode of the Powerful Nerdcast, where we talk about nerdy things all day long. Yes, that's right, sweet Susie.
Hey, everyone, I'm Christian. I'm taking over because my balls are big and salty and brown, and now I'm passing it off to Jordan.
I don't know about big, brown, and salty, but I'm DJ Stock on the mic in the AM, representing Atlanta's finest rap music since 1985. What do we got on the mic, Easy?
Yo, so he is not a smart man, but he does know what love is. So give it up for Jordan, everyone.
Jeez.
I'm going to beat...
Okay, Corey, we are back in the mix, and why not go live? Right? This is for Rizzle. For Rizzles.
Cool.
Corey, also, back off the mic a little bit for your intros. Don't, like, scream at it.
I'm not going to go crazy today.
No, you can, though. Just don't hold it hostage. Nerd taglines.
All right, you ready?
Oh, wait, we have to introduce ourselves legitimately.
I'm going to say a little intro, which is usually something really small. I usually quote something usually related to what we're talking about. Go around the room. I'm going to say you're going to join us, and then we're going to start our first topic, which is going to be Rogue One. We're just going to go from there. It's really the most chill. It literally is just dudes talking.
No, I just wanted to make
it's
sure
just us
there was
talking.
no outline.
Do you not know the secret parts?
The secret parts?
You didn't get that email?
To the secret email?
All right.
Top secret, password protected.
PAX G14 classified.
B-15 bombers.
Yes, those are numbers. KFC, CNN.
Those aren't numbers, those are letters.
Gotcha.
Oh, so you're testing my intelligence. I see what's
Barely.
happening here. I feel like I'm in the second grade.
Let's do this, guys.
All right.
Corey, what's your tagline?
It's going to be a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Why is that appropriate? Do a Star Trek intro.
Are you kidding me? Did you just record all that?
All of this is getting documented.
Star Trek intro? Really? Like To Infinity and Beyond?
Yeah. like the new one, too.
The problem is my favorite Star Trek quotes are the ones that aren't quotes at all. It's just people like screaming and shit. It's like Khan! Or it's like that scene where Captain Picard's like, no! No! And he slams his gun into this glass. Look, the intro's ruined. Let's just go ahead.
Okay, yeah. This will be the intro. I'm cool with that. Yeah. Welcome, guys.
Yo.
This is the Powerful Nerdcast. I am Christian. Corey is here, and we're also joined by Jordan, who's a good friend of ours.
Hola, what's up, y'all?
Yes, this is Jordan. He will be joining us for our Rogue One discussion. So Corey and I have seen Rogue One. You have too, Jordan?
Yes, I have.
I think we went on opening night where we live, so it was awesome. And Corey, so how do you want to do this discussion? Would you like to do like our overviews, or do you want us to break it down by like favorite moments, or like
first? Let's just give kind of like a general consensus. Like if you could give it a score like out of 10, just sort of going around the room. Just overall, what were your feelings when you walked out of the theater when you watched the movie? And Jordan, since you're our guest today, let's go ahead and start with you.
Out of 10, I'd give it a 7, man, to be honest with you. It was a good blockbuster film. It was a good filler. It was not a part of the main whole thing, it just wasn't. So I think it was good tiding us over till next year when episode 8 comes out. I obviously will explain my, details with it a little later, but, I enjoyed it, definitely. I mean, I'd totally buy it. I'd watch it a ton of times over again. It's Star Wars, man.
Yeah, so 7 out of 10 feels pretty close to what I was thinking. I think last time when I was walking out of the film, Corey and I were discussing this exact topic, and I was like 7.5 to 8, but I definitely didn't think it was a 9 or a 10 out of 10. I thought it had some slow parts in the middle. And then I also think that the action was great, though, and I think that they paid homage to the Star Wars universe really well, and that's coming from someone that's kind of a casual Star Wars fan. Like, I'm not obsessed with this universe. There's many other universes and many other fantasy-based novels and movies and, you know, graphic novels that I like way more than Star Wars. So as a casual fan, I think it definitely felt like it fit in Star Wars, but at the same time, you got to care about these characters for them to fit in. And even though their story is great, like, they definitely don't overshadow the main characters of Star Wars. And that's one of the things I think they pulled off really well, like fitting them into the story without having them all become Jedis and kill Darth Vader. You know? So what did you think, Corey?
I'm a pretty hardcore Star Wars fan, and going into the movie, I tried not to follow too much of, like, the preview material, like all the little documentaries they did about the creation, because I just wanted to go in with, like, a really fresh mindset. And I really liked it. I definitely think there were some flaws with the movie, and I'm kind of in, like, agreement with both of you. I think it kind of hovers around, like, a 7 to a 7.5, just because there are some glaring flaws. Like, I'm not going to lie, the first half of the movie is pretty slow, and it's just kind of haphazard and all over the place, and they're jumping from planet to planet. And, you know, for someone like me who, like, looks at, like, the old Star Wars books, like the ones that are, like, the encyclopedias of the planets and the aliens and the ships. For me, it's easy to understand. But, like, for casual moviegoers who go into that, they're just going to be like, what the hell is going on? What is all this? Why is this being thrown at us so much? There is kind of a prerequisite for going into this movie. But that being said, it's still a really awesome, like, war drama. And at the end of the day, that's the coolest thing about Rogue One for me, is that it put the war back in Star Wars. I'm probably, like, the millionth person on the internet to say that, but it's true. It really is. Like, the last half of the movie has this just incredibly thrilling action sequence with, like, ground battles and aerial battles in space, and it totally delivers. And it's also got plenty of fan service, which can be good and can be bad. But overall, I thought it was a really solid Star Wars experience, and it shows that they can make these spin-off Star Wars movies without always having to, like, rely on, like, the episode titles. So I
or
thought
Jedi.
It was great. Yeah,
The absence of the Jedi, I thought, was, like, one of the main features I enjoyed about it. You know, just, like, getting down to, like, a more realistic perspective of what it would actually be like to be an average Joe in this universe. You know, how are you going about your day? How did you get involved in this? And the way they really delved into how some of the characters got there was very unique in comparison to some of the previous Star Wars films.
Yeah, like I said, everyone doesn't have to become a Jedi and kill Darth Vader.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
although Darth Vader's, not that guy.
Well, yes, Darth Vader was pretty awesome.
Yeah,
let's discuss Darth Vader for a while.
And let's make something clear too. Spoiler warning. There's no way. There's, like, no way we can talk anymore without giving that warning, because let's just gush over this. Why not? You know, screw it.
Yeah, y'all had the weekend. We gonna get down to it.
All right. So Darth Vader.
His first scene, man, like the back to tank, that was awesome. His first introduction, anytime Darth Vader talks, I don't like it personally. I like it, like, if Darth Vader was more stone cold silent, like, yeah, that's a bad Darth Vader. But good God, man, that ending sequence of him murking those guys in the hallway, that was a nightmare. I swear to you, like, that was so cool.
It was pretty cool. It actually really was. Like, I like that Darth Vader was really saved for the last part. Like, you got to see him, but at the same time, he wasn't, like, dominating the bad guy side.
Yeah, although he was mentioned a handful of times, he was still a reoccurring character in the story.
Oh, yeah. He's like, stop fucking up, or else Darth Vader's going to talk to you.
Yeah, definitely.
You know? And he was a good character. Also, I did like that James Earl Jones came back and did the voice.
Oh, yeah.
But I just, I'm kind of the opposite. I wish he had more dialogue.
Really?
Yeah, I wish he was, like, more part of the planning of the attack. It really just seemed like he was sitting by, hanging out as this assault on a planet went by.
Yeah,
he wasn't
I guess
taking
you are right.
personal, like, charge of the actual, like, you know, battle plan. You think he'd be, you know, because he's
like, this is his big intergalactic super weapon. You figured, like, you know, Darth Vader himself would be really close to the development of this.
Yeah,
now, you see, here's my opposition to that, and this is some classic Star Wars jargon right here. But the Death Star means fucking nothing to Darth Vader. It was made clear if you watch Episode 4 during that big key sequence when all of the Imperial higher ups are talking about the Death Star and how they're actually going to be able to make it work. And Darth Vader isn't impressed at all. He says it's nothing compared to the power of the Force. All of this shit. This is M. Bison for Darth Vader. This is just another Tuesday for him.
Although we did just find out, you know, through, like, the, you know, reintroduction of the Kyber crystals in the actual movie universe, that presumably the Death Star ran off some sort of Force energy now.
Isn't that awesome?
Isn't that awesome? Like,
Yeah.
it was an oversized lightsaber, basically. And I mean, you look at the
And
destructive
what
power
a
of
fucking
that.
middle finger to the Jedi Order
know,
than
right?
by creating a giant fucking weapon, which is essentially a giant, like, lightsaber that destroys a planet.
yeah,
Like, in one shot.
Pew!
for those who don't know what the Death Star sounds like.
Exactly. That's exactly what it sounds like.
But let's go back to Darth Vader for a second. I thought he was actually in the movie for the perfect amount of time. Because this was supposed to be a new movie with new characters that I wanted to care about. And I wanted to spend some time with them. And yes, I do like cameos and stuff. But, Darth Vader could have easily turned into the Darth Vader movie. And I think by barely using him, they made him even more terrifying than ever. Because they made him like this figure that you don't see often, but when you do, shit is about to freaking go down. And my favorite line from the movie was probably when Director Krennic went to meet him at his planet, which apparently was on Mustafar, which I think is really awesome and kind of fucked up because that's like where he transformed into Darth Vader. You'd think he wouldn't even want to be there, but whatever. It's when Director Krennic is talking to him about the Death Star, and then Darth Vader starts to walk away. He's like, "So do I still have my position?" And then Darth Vader starts to choke him, and he has this like old school 1980s Arnold Schwarzenegger line. He's like, "Be careful not to choke on your aspirations, Director." Like, that was such a classic Darth Vader line. I freaking love that. It's not only did they include Vader and make him a badass, but like they gave him some really classic Darth Vader quotes, and it wasn't something stupid like "No!" Like, it was a real good Darth Vader quote. And I think I can't do any justice to the final scene where he just fucking wastes those rebels.
Yeah.
Just the way the scene was shot too was awesome. Just how it was all dark at first. You only hear his breathing, and then you see his lightsaber ignite, and then he just completely wrecks these dudes.
And then these people are literally like falling over each other, dying, just passing this thing along, these plans, just to get it through the next door, and then the next door, just to get it to, lo and behold, Princess Leia.
Yeah.
Spoiler warning.
Yeah, well, we're in agreement. Darth Vader's fucking awesome in this movie. But what about bringing back old classic characters and rendering them in CG, like Tarkin and Princess Leia? What do you think of that?
Tarkin, dude, I barely even noticed it, to be honest with you. Leia, I definitely saw it. I definitely did, but it was so brief. It was like, some of the like previous cameos in different movies that have done the same effects. It's just, you do it briefly with just the right character and it can be pulled off. But, like I said, the other guy, I didn't even notice him the whole time.
Tarkin was almost perfect. And he was also in the shadows, so that helped.
Yeah.
And they knew Princess Leia sucked, so they only showed her for a second. I think that's what happened, because she was not as realistic.
No, definitely not.
When I stared at it, I was like, that feels like cold and dead. It doesn't feel very warm.
Yeah, even the lighting on her just seemed the same way, too.
Yeah, it was too bright. They needed to darken that shit up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, just go with I guess they were trying to probably juxtapose, or, I guess...
The bad guys in the dark.
Yeah,
I mean,
like the darkness that Vader was just in on the other side of the hallway, and then on the complete opposite of that, this white, glowing, angelic Leia.
Dun, dun, dun.
But I do agree. I think Leia didn't look that great. But I still think it looks a lot better. Like, they're clearly getting better at this thing with rendering like characters, making them look younger. This isn't like when they did Tron Legacy, and it was just kind of awkward and maybe a little too puppet-like Polar Express, if you know what I mean.
Or what about the Robert Downey Jr. scene in the latest the Captain America? Yeah,
it was that was pretty good.
That was scary good, actually.
Yeah.
I
thought it was a little distracting though. I don't know,
could
just
tell?
a little plasticky. I mean, but Leia was in this too. But I thought that Tarkin was a lot better, and that's surprising because he had actually
But
a lot
Tarkin
of speaking roles.
Tarkin had a very distinct look that I would borderline say is a character-looking person. So I feel like he's an easier person to make look good.
You can owe all of that to Peter Cushing's fucking exquisite cheekbones.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like are inhuman almost.
I mean, he literally he's like half man. I know this is going to sound stupid.
See, that's what Corey notices when he watches Star Wars. Look at the cheekbones on that guy.
Like, he truly is a human skeleton. Perfectly. And they also made sure that a lot of the scenes he was in were in shadow. So it could hide, a lot of the imperfections. But the best thing about it, in terms of the CG, they made the eyes look real. Which is something that's really hard to do, with these, CG characters. Like I said, again, Polar Express. Those characters look horrifying because they have the most dead, lifeless eyes.
Doll's eyes?
Star Wars,
yeah, exactly. Fucking Jaws, man. Scary. Just didn't like it. But it was really surprising. And those weren't the only characters they did them for. There were a couple of X-Wing pilots. There was Gold Leader and Red Leader.
That's right.
And that was a lot more believable, too, because, again, a lot of it's in shadow, and most of it goes by in, a split second. You don't even notice it.
Yeah, it's just a quick cut.
But, you hear their names, you're like, oh, my God, that's the same freaking guys. So I think they did a good job with that.
That's cool. I really thought the CG faces were well pulled off.
Yeah, definitely meshed in.
I don't think Disney would do it unless they thought they could pull it off.
I mean, if anybody, Disney is the one who continues to pull it off, though. I mean, they own Marvel, too. So.
Yeah, Disney is like so much on fire, it's kind of insane. Like, they owned this generation.
Like, when we were watching the previews, like, before the movie, it's like, Disney owns all of this shit. Like, it was unbelievable. Aside from, I think, Power Rangers and Logan, everything else they had a hand in some way.
That's very true. It's crazy. Disney is a huge entertainment company. If you think about it, it has very little to do with a fucking mouse, too.
Seriously.
Stupid little thing.
Yeah.
Seriously. Yeah. But, all right, so we've talked a lot about the, callbacks to the old movie and everything. Let's talk about the new characters. What did you guys think of the actual, like, Rogue One team? And you can just talk about your favorite members or ones that you didn't even really care about. So, Jordan?
I liked all of them, personally. I'm pissed, of course. Everyone... Spoiler, dies. Like, everyone absolutely obliterated in like a single fire of this fucking Death Star test. But I don't know, man. Like, my favorite one was probably I think what was the droid's name?
K2SO.
K2S. Yep, that guy.
K2SO was definitely a great character.
Or queso. It's like cheese.
Queso cheese.
Queso. No, he was definitely a great character. I like seeing a droid that had that much actual independence. I guess he was, like C-3PO is so submissive most of the time, it almost seems like, and so is R2-D2 just does whatever the hell you tell him to. So just seeing an actual combat droid was impressive, in my opinion. It
was the evolution of that concept before the droids were so like, what's that stupid noise they make, Corey? The droid
that somehow everyone understands.
No, I mean the combat droids. The wow, wow.
Oh, the Roger.
Yeah. Like, they've evolved from that to the new Imperial droids, which I think are pretty cool. And that they can install a personality. But it also goes with, AI is really big right now. So I think throwing in a big AI character, and when you have the excuse of Star Wars, which can just throw drones in,
might as well.
Yeah. So that's kind of it. But he was definitely the best cast member as well. I would say that Queso Cheese droid, he was my favorite.
Comic relief.
Yeah,
100%.
comic relief droid. And then the main guy and girl characters, I like them independently.
But not together.
Not together.
Well, I don't even think they fully got along, though. Like,
I just didn't care about anything to do with them together. And I was like, eh.
And that's kind of a shame, because, like, Jyn Erso is kind of like the main character of the movie. You're supposed to care about her the most. But she just kind of, I don't know, there weren't that many memorable lines from her, and the ones that she did that were memorable, she was quoting other people.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, just, it was okay.
Or it's lines from the trailer. You're like, oh, that can't be the most epic line they used in the trailer.
Aren't you glad they got rid of that one quote from one of the trailers?
I rebel.
I rebel.
Yeah.
Oh, I was waiting for it, too. Yeah.
That did hit the cutting room floor. I just, in my mind, because seeing that trailer so much, just still thought that was in the movie. Like, I didn't really realize that wasn't in the movie.
Yeah.
It's hard to separate it from the real thing.
Yeah.
But, I mean, and then there was Cassian, I believe his name was. He was like the male lead. I don't know, just the conflict.
He seems like a young version of that Spanish dude in Narcos that's a cop.
It's the same guy.
No, it's not
the same guy.
Is it seriously?
I'm pretty certain it's the same guy.
No, it's not the same guy.
Google.
Because the guy in Narcos is the guy in Narcos is the one that got his head smashed in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But that guy is not the same guy.
Wait, it was Game of Thrones. He was like, "You murdered her!"
Yeah. You raped her! Or whatever. And then, like, the mountain grabs his head and pops it.
He's like, "And I crushed his head like this!" Somehow it comes back to game. I was waiting for a moment like that in Star Wars.
No, that was not going to happen.
That'll never happen. Disney will never allow something like that to happen. But
it could easily happen in that
But
universe.
it was a pretty dark Star Wars movie, actually. Like Jordan, you were saying, they killed fucking everyone.
Yeah,
by the end of the movie, and they don't they fucking died by Death Star blast.
I thought it was great though, because it really showed you the struggle that they all went through. Like, all these people died just to get to step 1.
Yep.
Like, holy crap.
Like, they rebel.
All right, so but we also have a couple of other characters. Jyn and Cassian, they're okay. What did you think of Chiru Imwait, the guy that Donnie Yen played?
Is that the Asian guy?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. To be honest, that character I've loved because I'm a big fan of that actor's work in the Ip Man series, and that was Bruce Lee's Master, and it's a pretty modern kung fu series, which I think has 3 sequels, or 1 main movie and 2 sequels, and it's great. So him seeing a blind kung fu master in the Star Wars universe was like a natural progression for me. So I was really happy that guy got in on this. And I'm sad he's dead, but he served his role. And he was kind of the representation of a Jedi for me.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting to see how he wasn't necessarily a Jedi. It wasn't explained if he was taught how to hone in on these senses at all, but yet he still seemed to have naturally found his own sense of the Force, And it's just, you look at, I forget his partner's name, the guy that had the Gatling gun thing strapped to his
I think the character's name was Bodhi Malbus.
Word.
Yeah.
Balzane, Party of Two.
Baze.
From the country of Balzac.
Baze, Party of Two. Baze.
But no, when you look at at the end, he tried to hone in on the Force himself, repeating the same lines that he said, and it was just one of those. It definitely didn't work in the end, but just seeing he probably had to sit there for years, this blind man honing in on how to dodge bullets via the Force. And it's just seeing a normal dude go through that, I thought was definitely a different interpretation.
Yeah, it was cool, and I like that he hit people with the sticks.
I wish they could have done more with that. He had that opening action scene where he just wrecks those stormtroopers, which was really cool because it's we have lightsaber battles all the time in Star Wars, but it was kind of cool to see a
Stick
traditional
battle.
martial arts fight in a Star Wars film. I just thought it was really cool. Maybe it was just watching stormtroopers get beat up is fun, but that was a really great action sequence.
People love seeing stormtroopers get their butt kicked for some reason.
I hate stormtroopers.
they're the perfect cannon fodder. They're just It was awesome. They're like the Goombas of Star Wars.
Dude, entirely. It's like cattle for slaughter.
So that's Chirrut Imwe, the blind Force wielder, and then we have Baze Malbus, who his whole shtick is basically he's just a tough guy with a kick-ass gun. Pretty
God,
much.
is it a kick-ass gun, dude?
He's
Holy crap.
if you put Arnold with a minigun, and then he just always had the minigun from Predator, and he was just in Star Wars.
With red laser beams.
With red laser beams.
It's got laser beams coming out of his
that
freaking
character.
head.
Mm-hmm. Other memorable members of the road crew, there was Bodhi Rook, who was the former Imperial pilot, who was, in a way, kind of comic relief as well, especially at the beginning when he was constantly being thrown around by Saw Gerrera. And, his death also, it came out of nowhere at the end when they just threw that grenade.
Yeah, I was sad about that.
I was just holy shit, there's no way he's getting out of this. And it just, boom, that's it. And that's when you started to realize, oh, these fuckers are dead, man.
Yeah, once he died, I was like, oh, that's it. It's starting. And, okay, so let's talk about the final beach battle. Can we do that?
Yeah, fucking the beach battle.
The final
best part
beach
of the
battle
movie
was probably the best part of the movie. The reason I like it is, it has been repeated all too many times, so I'm going to do it one more time. It puts the war back in Star Wars. This part of the movie was when it felt like the beginning of Saving Private Ryan or something. This is when it became real and you saw all the tools of Star Wars come out and play on this battlefield. And it pretty much turned into a Star Wars Battlefront cutscene with your favorite characters. What was one of your favorite parts, Corey, when your favorite Star Wars vehicle came into play or something?
It's tough to choose because there's the AT-ATs, the AT-ATs, when they came in, they're so iconic looking. But I love the fact that this is a huge beach battle, but it was also, there's this huge space battle that's going on right outside the planet. And then when they start to converge on one another, that's when it started getting really awesome. When the X-Wings came in and started going up against the AT-ATs, that was really, really great.
But it was also shortly after that everyone started to quickly die. That's when the grenade got thrown into the ship, and it happened very quickly. So you're right.
Everything escalated in this way that was just so nuts. I love the way that the rebels set up the attack, where they placed bombs all over the base, and they spread them out as far as possible.
And they did that shit real quick too. Yeah, you look at the footprint that they cover. Holy shit.
Yeah, and not getting caught either. And they made it seem like there were so many more people there when that was going down. There were just way too many scenes during that. But really, it's those space battles for me that really make it. There's one scene in particular where there's this giant hammerhead ship which plows right into the side of this Star Destroyer, and then it pushes it into another Star Destroyer.
Oh man, that was awesome.
Basically slicing through it like a giant knife, and then they cause that to fall on top of the shield that's covering the planet. And just that whole sequence was just oh yes, because that's something that I think was really missing from a lot of the prequel movies. Are big epic space battles, which are, to me, so important to Star Wars. Next to the whole lightsaber thing, I want a really good, space battle war action scene, like Battle of Hoth, or the taking down the Death Star 1 or 2, and they did a little bit of that in Force Awakens, but in this one, they just went nuts. That scene where, thousands of TIE fighters just go out into space, that was fucking awesome.
I'm just glad we finally watched a Star Wars movie, a recent one, that doesn't involve blowing up a big ball in space.
That is true.
I'm tired of this planetary conquest non-shit. Well, that's not even a word.
I know what you're saying. You're this is not trying to stop Well, it is trying to stop a super weapon, if you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, it totally is. But it's like, at least we haven't gotten to the part to where we have to actually fly up and, like, battle said super
and
weapon.
speaking of that, they added in that whole concept that the whole weakness of the Death Star
was intentional.
Yeah,
Galen.
I actually really like that, because now people can stop bitching about it.
I told you, though, they went back, they fixed it. They were going to. No, it definitely. So, like, what was your opinion about Galen Erso, though? Like, you know, his entire role, Mads Mikkelsen as a character himself. Like, I loved him personally. Everything Mads does.
I mean, he's barely in the movie at all, but he does a great job of what he had. You know, I mean,
sure.
he's in basically 2 scenes: the scene in the beginning, and then the one where he gets killed.
I know. I feel like there should have been more of him, man.
What about the main bad guy general? What was his name?
Director Krennic.
Yeah, he was pretty good. I like that actor.
Yeah, it was a big role for him,
It
too.
just sucks that he's in a movie with Darth Vader.
Yeah.
You know, because you're just like,
you're
who
not going
cares
to do that
about Krennic?
justice.
It's fucking Darth Vader right there.
I would have liked if they would put like Christoph Waltz in there. You know, that would have been good for that character. Maybe too much of a character to see him.
He looked a little bit like him.
Yeah, they could have made him. He's very Christoph Waltz-likey, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he looked like the character he played in Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That is true. Well, the Imperial is sort of Nazi. Like,
I did like, though, that we got to see...
It's like, even the logo is just like the circular looking icon.
what were you saying, Corey?
I like that they... Because he was wearing a white uniform, like, my thought process when I saw him, I thought he was a Grand Admiral. In the expanded universe of Star Wars, like, the guys who wear those suits are, like, really, really high up. So that's why it was so shocking to see someone like Tarkin who was talking down to him. But then again, it's fucking Tarkin. There's Darth Vader, there's the Emperor, and there's Tarkin. That's like, I think, the biggest higher ups in the entire Empire up at that point. But it was really cool to see that. I wish he could have done more though. But I mean, he served his purpose, which was to have a tie to the main character. But yeah. Darth Vader just overshadowed him as a villain, though.
Of course. I mean, you can't really compete with Dr. Vader.
Dr. Vader.
What about
Darth Vader?
What about Forrest Whitaker?
In and
Saw Gerrera,
out. He was
dude.
just in and out. I don't know. I didn't really care for
I
him.
liked seeing, like, I don't know, it was a very interesting interpretation of a crazy man, to be honest with you. Like, even the tonal displacement to his voice, just the way it was so raspy and everything. Like, I loved it, personally. It was unique. It was iconic. I'll never forget that character, that's for certain. His little breathing apparatus and all.
his mind-sucking squid.
Like, what was that thing's name again? Bulgogo or something?
He said something like, I don't know. It was fucking... Even I was watching, I was like, all right, this is starting to get a little weird now. Like, what the fuck is this?
But no,
it
I thought that was interesting, too. It was supposed to
time.
make the pilot's mind go to mush, and like he came back pretty quick, realistically.
Yeah, I know.
Like, that's a badass pilot.
I thought it was just to see if he was telling the truth or not.
It was, but it was
Yeah.
supposed to be like the main side effect is losing your mind, or so he said.
okay.
But no, our pilot dude, he definitely kicked ass.
But Forrest Whitaker's voice, I don't know, I thought it was a little too hammy, personally. And the only reason I say that, too, is because Saw Gerrera is a character from the Star Wars Clone Wars series, so they actually incorporated someone from that show in the movie, and he did not sound anything like that in the show, so... But, I mean, whatever. We could chalk it up to the fact that he's older and maybe going a tad insane, so...
He got
tad.
robot legs.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
he got-
both of them.
You got robot legs, Lieutenant Dan.
You got new robot legs. Anyway.
If we could somehow incorporate Tom Hanks into the Star Wars universe, I'd be pretty happy. I don't
Yeah.
know what role, even if it's just a random alien in the background.
He could be a nerf herder.
He should just be that dude who always talks to people, because that's all Tom Hanks ever does.
That and pee and run.
Flies planes.
And run. Did any of you guys catch any like the cameos or like any extra cameos or references to?
I mean,
the
you
older
pointed
movies?
it out, but I remember seeing blue milk. And
Oh
that
yeah,
was-
I was
The
so
Jedi
excited.
Temple.
Yeah, the Jedi Temple.
I thought that was a Jedi temple.
I don't know.
On, fuck, what was
Like,
the name of
was
the
it the
planet?
giant statue
Jeddah?
of the
I think it was on
downed?
Jeddah. Like that whole like temple that they were in, where you met everybody when they first landed with the destroyer hanging above it. I thought that was a Jedi temple.
It was either a Jedi temple or it was like a Kyber thing,
Like a Kyber mining facility.
Yeah. I don't know what it was, but it had some sort of connection to the Jedi. They had that big statue that was outside the city too. That was basically, it looked like Obi-Wan freaking Kenobi. It's totally not though, or maybe it is. I don't know. Who knows? But like there were also a lot of other little references that were not so subtle, like the scene when they were walking through Jeddah City and there was the two assholes from the cantina.
I remember that.
Whose names are ridiculous. Dr. Evazan and Ponda Baba. And they bump into them and they're still fucking pissy as always. And it's weird to think that they basically were on this planet like right before they went to Tatooine.
Yeah, and then
Like,
they get there,
probably
and then
a
Han
day or so
Solo.
before.
Just pow.
Yeah,
dead.
boom. Dude gets his fucking arm cut off by Obi-Wan Kenobi the next day. It's just this weird.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
30 years later.
Spoiler alert.
But I also like the design a lot of the aliens in this movie. That's something that's always really important to me with Star Wars movies, is to have like a really colorful background of ridiculous characters.
Well,
They
let's not
delivered
forget,
on
it
that.
is a space opera after all.
Yeah, exactly. They need to make it feel diverse. And I know some people have been complaining that they're not seeing enough of the recognizable aliens, but to me, that's my favorite thing, is always seeing the new ones, because it lets you know this is a big fucking universe.
Just
There
leave
are-
Jar Jar Binks at home, homie.
Yeah.
Like,
No Gungans. I was
that
almost
mistake.
expecting to see a Gungan or something, like maybe at the Rebellion meeting on Tantive 4. Like maybe if they... I don't know if they want to include them anymore.
Dude, I've heard some ridiculous theories about Jar Jar Binks, man. Good lord.
He is Snoke.
He is supposed to.
I don't know how. But fuck.
Yeah, what was that? Dude, remember all the rumors that kept circulating around about the Bacta tank in the trailer,
Yeah.
and how everyone thought, like, oh, we're finally going to realize who Snoke is? And it's like,
This is
no,
like
that's
this-
just Darth Vader, again.
This mysterious hooded figure walks up. You're like, holy shit, it's the Emperor, and it's just some old dude, Lord Vader. It's like, fuck. They've been making people brew over this for like a year.
They had,
It's
like, the
just some
two
old
Imperial
dude.
guards and everything, man.
Seriously. It's just Vader in the tank, whatever. I mean, we shouldn't always assume it's going to be connected. I'm actually glad it wasn't connected.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people really are reading so deep into the Star Wars universe that they want there to be like 5, 6, 7, 8 layers of just complete conspiracy, as if this is like the Illuminati all over again.
Also,
or
it's
something.
just driving people insane. They want to know who Snoke is.
I just want to know who the fuck Rey is. Like, Snoke, he can be a bad guy. Bad guys come out of all types of nonsense, you know? I mean, shit. Look at the Joker. Like,
True.
What's his
We
history?
don't really know Jack.
Yeah, not really.
But I'm trying to think. Were there? Oh, there was C-3PO and R2-D2. I thought that they didn't need to include that, but whatever. It
They
is
don't
what it
do
is.
anything except stand there and goes, aye, aye, aye.
And basically, they're doing that just to keep up the tradition that they're in every single Star Wars movie. So,
It was almost an insult, though. It was just like a quick little, like, snap. Oh, hey, ship, bye.
It was like, what's his name in all the Marvel movies? Stan Lee.
Stan Lee?
They Stan Lee'd us.
Dude,
with them.
how is he
except
still
for Fantastic
alive?
Four, he said, "Fuck that."
Smart
out.
man. Wait, which one? The Jessica
The
Alba
newest
one?
one. The
Okay,
newest
good.
one.
That was
Yeah.
such a horrible experience.
He actually did have cameos in the other ones. that shows how bad that fucking new one was.
Yeah.
That's a discussion for another day,
I
though.
wish the internet was working because I bring up that dance scene right now.
So your internet's not working either.
No, it's
Yeah, I
not
just
working.
pulled it up
We're,
on my phone.
we're struggling right now. On the
I got
internet, guys.
Google. I'm looking at some IMDb's right now.
Did you ever prove that I was right, that dude's not the same dude?
Oh yeah, that's what I was supposed to Google. Sorry,
It's not
everybody.
the same dude.
It's not the same dude.
Okay.
But yeah. Overall, though,
No, that's him, Diego Luna.
Diego Luna.
Yeah, he's from Narcos.
Wow, he's fucking. In
Wait,
Star
let me
Wars?
see.
Hold on, I thought
That's
that was
not
him.
the same dude.
Nope, you're right. It's
I know
not.
I'm right.
just a
I'm not
dumb-
even fucking with anyone right now. Dominate.
Christian knows his Narcos.
Okay. One guy's older than the other. They just both have mustaches and are Spanish.
Well, I'm racist.
They all look the same, man.
I'm sorry, everybody.
Diego Luna. Who the hell is Diego Luna? Like, I don't know. I actually kind of like that.
You know
though,
what
when I
Luna
don't-
means? Moon.
Oh my god.
He's Diego Moon.
Thank you.
Dude, go to sleep.
He's the moon.
But I actually like it when I don't recognize the actors that much. It makes me kind of believe them as the actual characters a little bit more.
Yeah.
Although a lot of these people are pretty well known. Like I think the guy who played the Imperial pilot, or the former one, he's on some HBO show.
Oh yeah, The Night of, I think it was what it
Yeah,
was
there it
called.
is. Yeah, that's
No,
the name
I
of the
also
show.
just saw him in this other new show that was released on Netflix, the OA, some weird little, like, I don't advise it, it's a weird show, but that dude's acting capability, the range of stuff he can tackle is phenomenal, dude. He's a great actor.
And he's in
Highly
Star Wars
underrated.
now, man. Even though his character's dead, he's set for life.
Yeah, but he's never going to be in Star Wars again, so that sucks.
Unless they let them be on the Star Wars Rebels show, it's possible.
Unless they start bringing people back from the dead, like Game of Thrones style.
Yeah, or like fucking Tarkin and Leia. Just whatever.
We're just going to CG everybody. We're just
Like,
going
we
to
don't need you anymore. Just come in for voiceover.
What they're going to do is they're just going to scan everybody's head and turn them into an artificial intelligence like Cortana or some shit.
Shit.
And then they're gonna they can make movies with Jennifer Lawrence and Marlon Brando.
We can leave Jennifer Lawrence out of this.
Sounds awful.
Yeah. And they can bring them back at any
It
age.
sounds like dipping a cigar in a glass of milk.
For some reason, that's appropriate description.
I don't know why.
Oh my gosh. Did
Who else?
anybody get excited when Jimmy Smits appeared, or do you even know who the fuck Jimmy Smits is?
No.
No, I don't know.
It's Leia's father from Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, that's good.
That's how. I guess no one cared about that. All right, well, that was something I really liked about the movie, because...
I mean, it wasn't Leia's real father.
No, not really. Not really.
But I know, like, the dude that raised her, whatever.
Yeah, but it was cool that they were able to finally connect, like, the old stuff with the prequels, with new stuff, so...
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Rogue One is definitely filler for, like, all this stuff that just was, sad to say, left out of previous films.
Mm-hmm. It made me believe that the whole, like, rebellion is actually a real thing and not just something that's kind of always in the background.
Yeah, and that was definitely awesome about it, man. Like, I just loved the whole realism that this one really presented to us. Like, you know, next thing is just put this into, like, an open world, whole galactic video game, and, like, I'm a happy camper. Like,
yeah, seriously.
No Man's Sky can burn forever. Just make a Star Wars version of that, and shit, dude. I'll die a happy man.
I just want a Boba Fett game. That's all I want, really.
You want a Boba Fett game? Didn't they come out with one a long time ago?
They made a Jango Fett game back in like 2004, which was fucking awesome. By the way, Mom, thanks for getting that for me for Christmas that year. Played the shit out of it. I wish they would do something similar to that, where you get to play as Boba and just like collect bounties, be in a big open world, and upgrade your gear. Just, it would be so much fun. Think Grand Theft Auto just with Boba Fett set in the Star Wars universe. Just go nuts with it, man. It would be something that I've always wanted to see, but in the meantime, we'll just continue to play the new shitty Battlefront game, which has an infinite amount of DLC that you will be paying for.
Yeah, dude, EA, seriously, you're blowing it, yo.
Seriously.
And bring back Skate.
Yeah, that was a fun game, man.
Dude,
those were better than the Tony Hawk games. Well, I mean, Tony Hawk games started going bad around, like, I'd say 3, though.
Dude, Tony, I'm not even going to disgrace this table with that name. I'm not gonna
I know that you're
a skater.
You're a skater, so like
you're a skater, bro.
You know this shit,
bro.
So what about Tony Hawk? Tell us why you don't like him.
Yeah, like this is interesting now. Like, what's up? What's with the hate?
Because he's not in Star Wars, man. It's that simple. He's not in Star Wars. I didn't see a 900 go down on the Death Star. That shit could happen. Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
like put some ramps in like a giant asteroid, and like he like does like.
Or he does a 1080
in the
satellite
ball. Dish on
like he's like whipping it on the edge of the ball and like grinding across.
Did you guys remember in the old Tony Hawk games and you could skate as Spider-Man in outer space?
No,
yeah,
fuck.
There was like an outer space map and I was Spider-Man, like web shooting, grabbing my skateboard and shit. It's like a dream come true, man.
Now I'm really sad we don't have the internet, so I can't see that.
I know. I really want to like. That sounds unbelievably awesome. Like there could be a whole game based just around that concept.
But that's when Tony Hawk started sucking. Like, they gave us the pinnacle of just, like, crazy, ridiculous skateboard awesomeness, and then it was like, yeah, fuck it. Like, they just gave up. They just kept going downhill. And plus, there was no Star Wars.
You gotta have Star Wars. Where's our fucking Star Wars skating game, man? Just make it a thing.
Dude, just make a real Star Wars game. Like, dude, seriously, put Bethesda on it. Like, they'll do a great job.
Bethesda.
It would take about... Man, it would take a while. Like Grand Theft Auto games take like 5 years each.
Yeah.
So I feel like even if they started right now, it would be a while. And so many more things are going to come out if it takes 5 years to make because of Star Wars like ramping up its production.
Well, they better get to work on that shit, man. They really need to. They're going to take 5 years on it. And I mean, granted, I get it. It takes a long time to develop a video game. But how cool would it be if you could just turn on your TV, throw on your ridiculous VR headset and your Oculus Touch and your stupid little walk treadmill thing? Because those are truly freaking awesome.
Yeah, but there are going to be so many people who are going to be busting we're going to start hearing about VR-related deaths.
I'm fine with that. Fucking,
or
thin the herd.
People losing their mind in VR, like eating acid and getting stuck in there like the Matrix or something.
Oh, God. It's getting to there, man. I don't know. I'm thinking about getting a PS4 next year, and I'm debating if I should also get a VR headset for the system.
I mean, I'm waiting until the next gen, if that ever happens. Like, honestly, PC gaming's probably the future.
That's
What?
I've been hearing that
VR.
though. I've been hearing that rhetoric for fucking decades though.
I mean, I think we're finally just getting to a point though where like all of our devices are finally starting to centralize into like, you know, tablets and one computer and one this, and it's like, man, eventually like it's gonna come down to you'll have a cell phone and that does everything on your laptop. You can wirelessly connect it to any sized monitor and it can process all your video games and plugs right into a VR. I mean, that's what it's gonna get to, and then we'll be in Star Wars.
Yeah. By the way, Rogue One was good.
By the way, BT Dubs, check me out.
Yeah, like that's the other thing. We said 7 out of 10, pretty much, if you averaged out what we said.
Yeah.
But we still have a lot of great things to say about the film. I think that's the important part. I would totally recommend.
It's always super fun.
I would recommend
always.
people go check that movie out.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Even though we
tons of
spoiled it
Easter
for you.
eggs. They do give you more information about the Star Wars universe. I mean, like I said, the Kyber crystals, that was
Blue
a
milk.
big thing for me. Blue milk. It's like that kale stuff, dog.
Put out blue milk, son.
Yeah.
It's like, does that come from blue cows? I'm just curious.
Blue Uddas.
Blue udders. Everything's all blue all day, every day.
Jesus. Anywho, Rogue One in theaters now.
How many times are we going to bring it back?
I don't know. But that's it for that one. Anywho, we still have a couple other things I'd like to talk about. This one might be a little foreign to you, Jordan. I don't know how much of an anime fan you are, like, if at all. Okay.
We'll take it.
I mean, I enjoy it. I grew up watching, you know, like the typical ones that everyone else has seen on Cartoon Network and whatnot. I'm stupid and got out of it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I
There's nothing stupid about
I
it.
neglected my anime love. I neglected it and it withered and died, and I'm sad about that. But I still have an interest in it. It's beautiful stuff. Stories are remarkably interesting. I mean, like you can't get most of that out of any American-made cartoon or story most of the time. The diversity and the creativity that goes into it, it's always so much more.
But the thing about anime, and that's the thing, it's been a real big trend lately, is like a lot of big Hollywood movies, they're trying to take a lot of classic series and adapt them into live-action film.
Ghost in the Shell.
Exactly. And
We have a new one to announce on that list.
We do, and it's one of the most popular manga and anime series of all time. It's one that me and Christian actually started reviewing years ago, which built our YouTube channel, which is a series called Naruto. And they're finally going to be transforming that into a live-action movie. And this is not a joke anymore, Christian. Like, this is official. People are working on this from Line Gates. The creator of the fucking series is behind it.
Whoa.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. And it's going to be American-made, so who knows what direction this is going to go into.
I know what direction. White people.
Probably. But, what are your thoughts overall on this? And if they do make it, what do you hope to see?
Here's what I gotta say. I want to see if Ghost in the Shell is good.
Yeah.
And
but
that will
it's so
tell me.
different from Naruto, too, you know?
Yeah, well, Naruto, here's the thing. I have no idea if the power of friendship bullshit will fly in the U.S. That's the one thing I have the biggest question
about. Are you kidding me? Rebellions are built on hope. The power of friendship is already here, man.
I guess I missed that train, but you're right. You may be right.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what's up. I want to say I'm saving my opinion on if this movie is going to be good or bad. Most likely bad, just because of the obvious history of this.
And Scarlett Johansson trying to be intelligent is always funny to watch.
Well, I'm excited to see what this movie is like, but I will say Scarlett Jo did do a movie kind of like Ghost in the Shell where she became super smart and became a complete badass, and that movie tanked and it was called Lucy. So let's just be honest. Like, her being a super weapon person hasn't worked in one place, but then it has worked as Black Widow in the MCU.
Well, just because Black Widow doesn't actually have a superpower, she just has electric batons and is
she
a woman. Like she
whacked Black Panther with those. And she's like, bad kitty.
Bad kitty.
And it works. Okay. So I don't know. She's won and lost as a badass, in superhero movies. So let's see where this one goes, and then I'll tell you what I think if Naruto's going to be good or not.
Okay. What do you think they're gonna just sort of combine some of the biggest elements from the series and try to make a movie out of it, or are they going to do a straight adaptation of the entire series from beginning to end? And what would you rather see if you do want to see anything?
Okay, the way I'd rather see them do it is
not at all.
I'd like them to see it I'd like it to be done as a saga.
Yeah, it'd have to be a 3-part saga, but at the same time I almost am cautious enough to say just put out a feeler movie that does the whole sequence and then go back and make it a saga, a 3-part saga or pick an arc.
Like-
just like a starter arc and try it. And then go and make it a big world.
Like, do you think they could start the series by doing the whole Zabuza arc?
Yeah, like do a Zabuza arc.
You know, just introduce the characters, you know, get into their backstories a little bit, introduce an adversary, take down the adversary, hint for something maybe in the future, but don't try to make it a fucking MCU kind of thing, and just hope for the best.
Yeah, that's it. If they try to shove it all in there and give everyone beast powers and chakra bubbling off of everyone, it's going to look fucking dumb. Make me care about it first. So,
Have you ever heard of the series Naruto, Jordan?
Oh yeah, dude, I grew up in America.
Okay, so you are at least kind of familiar with the overall like story of what it's all about?
Yeah,
or-
you're gonna ask me if I heard of Pokemon next, right?
No, I'm not.
Okay, cool.
So I guess Naruto has at least
what
been,
do you know about Naruto?
Not anything past the headbands.
Okay, that's
So
good.
yeah, I
It's a
am
good
that
start.
retarded.
during the what?
Don't they have headbands? of
They
some
have
kind?
headbands. The
Okay,
village
that's all I
band.
remember. That's like-
Kids used to wear these
Headbands.
headbands in high school.
Okay, well, yeah.
The kids wore the headbands in high
Wore
school.
the headbands. They had the cool little swirl on them. I was
Yeah.
envious, but I was trying to be cool, so I did not partake.
What are you talking about? Those dudes got the most pussy.
They looked like little cool little ninjas, man. They had these like badass headbands. and I'm
The
like,
dudes
man,
that
I
would
want that.
ninja
That's a
run to
cool
the
spiral.
lunchroom. Those were the guys that were getting ass left and right. That was so they could hold both the ass in each hand. That's why the hands were behind them.
Oh my god.
Or no one sat with them.
Animass.
So that's what you recall of Naruto, huh? Well,
Pretty much.
yeah.
Headbands.
Well,
That was a riff.
I am interested to see what they're going to do with this. But I mean, you know, I'm kind of like you. I need to see something first. I'm not optimistic because I watch anime to watch fucking anime. Like, I don't watch Dragon Ball thinking, man, I really wish this were a live action.
Right.
I like it for what it is. It's a cool
Anything
kick-ass
better be
cartoon.
better than The Last Airbender. Like,
Yeah, which...
Shut up, you two. You shut your mouths.
You know that movie
liked it?
sucked, Christian.
Oh, the movie sucked.
Yeah,
Okay,
M. Night Shyamalan
sorry,
hasn't done anything good since
I thought
The
you were-
Village.
I thought
I mean, we're going to kick your ass, man.
The Village wasn't good, bro. It was Signs, which was his last good movie.
I don't know. The Village, I didn't see
The
it coming.
Village sucked dick.
I was 13.
The Village was pretty bad.
The monsters were scary until you saw them too much.
Yeah.
And then the big reveal was like, oh, they're just lying to everyone.
You remember when we saw that in the theaters, though?
Yeah.
Oh my
The
God.
trailer made the monster scary.
But
okay?
that one moment when you actually see the monster, like, for real and everything, and the theater's fucking packed. Like, this movie just came
Yeah.
out. Thing looks like a goddamn Power Ranger monster.
It looked like a giant porcupine.
Yeah, just as soon
a
as that
red
thing
hood.
started running, the whole crowd started laughing. Like,
Right.
it was just hilarious. That's enough of...
I didn't really like Signs, though. But
Yeah.
What?
I fucking hate Mel Gibson, dude.
Signs sucked, Christian.
Corey, both you guys are wrong.
No, it was
Lady in the
terrible.
Water was the best one, y'all.
No.
They get hurt by water, so they go to fucking Earth.
I'm not saying it makes sense. I'm
They
saying
couldn't even walk outside.
the suspense. The suspense is good.
The minute they stepped outside of their ships, they should have been the fucking melting dude from RoboCop. Like, they're dead as
Help
shit.
me.
Exactly.
How'd they get through the clouds? How'd they get through the clouds?
Exactly. Like, just...
Their ships are waterproof.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
They got waterproof suits. They just left
If
them
they're
at
not
home.
waterproof, water is probably nowhere around their planet.
Nope.
Methane gas.
That wasn't the movie where Mel Gibson says, "Give me back my son," is it?
No, that's like a 90s movie. That's a different one. Give me back my son.
So unintentionally funny.
I know. It's not supposed to be. It's not cinematic mastery. He's like, if I just scream, maybe I'll get an Oscar.
Yeah. So we pretty much are in agreement though about this whole Naruto movie thing. Like, you know, we have to see more material from it though. But who's your pick to play Naruto? Go.
Zac Efron.
Holy fuck. Holy shit.
Well, I can think of a dude. I can think of somebody here.
McLovin.
We don't even know his name. Man, McLovin.
Honestly, I think Jonah Hill would do it perfectly.
Jonah Hill.
He could be Choji.
Actually, yeah, Jonah Hill could be a good Choji, to be honest.
I mean, if you're looking for the main character of main characters, always go with Bruce Willis. Or Liam Neeson's.
Oh boy. I don't know, get one of the kids from fucking Stranger Things. And,
No, that's exactly right. Like the little chubby dude from Stranger Things. What's his name?
That's Choji.
Choji?
Yeah, he's a good Choji.
Actually, no, we're already whitewashing the fuck.
Well, okay, we'll use Lao Ping because I don't know any Asian fucking actors.
Lao Ping is Sasuke.
Can we just use Ben Affleck again? Take him away from Batman.
He'll be Kakashi.
Anything is
He
better
got
than
bath-flaked.
Batman.
Oh my god. I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, either way, this movie's going to fail. There's no way they'll be able to appeal
I
to
don't know.
anyone.
You could pull it off. I mean, look at movies like Sucker Punch, man. Like that was a pretty badass little fucking anime, whatever movie, whatever they did with that thing. It was interesting. It really was.
Scott Pilgrim takes on whatever. What was that?
Yeah, that was cool.
That had some cool visuals.
That was pretty
Also
trippy.
known as Hipster the movie.
Yeah,
Yes.
Canadian hipster.
Canadian hipster, the movie.
But I mean, they
Bring
did
your
that.
own
They
flannel.
did that. They did that live stage show of Naruto though, which is like the best Naruto cosplay ever.
Oh yeah, cosplay.
When did I just,
You from like
when did I just
Boston
turn into a fucking New Yorker for a second?
or like a Bostonian?
But anyway, the cosplay, like it looks
It was
really
off
damn
the
good.
chain, yo. It was huge. It was huge.
But those actors are also Japanese, so it's
was-
it's hard to gauge, man.
Plus, you're sitting like 500 feet away from him, so.
True, and it's a stage play, but I mean, like the costumes at least look good. But I don't know. We'll see. Again, though, I just don't think anime translates well to live action. I don't think it ever will.
I think the only way you can do it well is to make it darker. Anime is usually a very colorful kind of experience, man. I mean, when we see movies nowadays, like we look at the most successful movies that have been transferred, or comics, or animation series that have been turned into actual films, and like I always come back to the Dark Knight series. I mean, it was phenomenal. Like it did top the charts, and everyone did love it. And I think one of the big things that made it so awesome was the fact that they brought it down into a realistic sense, as though it was something that we could actually believe. Like the whole way that we went into the development of Bruce Wayne and all that stuff. I feel like it was really real, and I feel like if we did that with Naruto, I feel like we could honestly get away with it.
I mean, like why does it work so well for American comic books and not so much for anime? Like, what's the reason behind that?
I think our culture is just darker. We are more aggressive by nature. I mean, you look at our entertainment, if it's not shooting something or beating something up, or, if it's not making fun of other people embarrass themselves in memes on Instagram, I mean, we're aggressive by nature. And we just
Get on
look
that
for
mic.
outlets. We just look for outlets. Mic check.
I mean, and it can't be just because the stories are hard to tell and because you can just, you could just joke that Japanese shit in general is just weird as fuck.
It's unique, but I think
look
there's a
at
way to tell it.
Look at Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
That is so fucking weird. Like, Naruto's still fairly normal by comparison.
And we'll see, what made Guardians of the Galaxy fun for me is because it reminded me of, like, being 7 years old again with a little toy spaceship running around the living room, and, like, what would my imagination do with it? And I feel like even if Naruto could get away with that, which is very possible, it really is, I feel like that's just the trick. It comes into, like, I guess understanding the psyche of your demographic, and, like, that's a lot to ask for, go shit. But I think it's possible, I think it could be done. I think it could look good.
I mean, it could be Dragon Ball Evolution. We'll have to wait and
Oh
see.
God,
Dude, don't
Corey.
even mention that.
It could
it's
be.
so bad. The writer came out like I think a year ago and apologized publicly. saying
Yeah.
he was in a bad point in his life where he just needed money and just
I went and saw
didn't
that in
care.
theaters.
He just wrote it.
So did I.
I
Oh
didn't.
my god, dude. From, like, frame one, I was just like, son of a
No.
fucking
Yeah.
bitch.
Yeah.
Like, the whole movie, I was watching it with a group of friends, and we are just like, this is fucking terrible. Like, we almost considered asking for our money back. Like, it was that bad of an experience. There was nothing enjoyable about it.
Dude, I actually remember that John Carter movie. I
don't.
I did get a refund for that shit. Yeah,
John
I got
Carter.
dragged into that.
I'm trying to remember, was that the one where
It was
they go
the
to
Disney
Mars?
movie on Mars. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
it was-
I never saw. I just remember seeing the preview. I was like, man, that looks really expensive. It sucks that I'm never gonna go see it.
Dude, it was the worst
Wait,
thing
that
ever.
movie is actually the original the original book was one of the inspiring factors of Star Wars.
So was Valerian.
Valerian, what's that?
Yeah, Valerian and the Galaxy of 1,000 Planets or something like that. It's the new what's his name? Dude who did Fifth Element.
The
And
Fifth
Lucy.
Element is underrated.
Hold on, I'll find
No, it's
it.
not. It's very well known.
Well, I don't think it's as big as it could be. I
Maybe
don't
it's
know.
big in our circles.
Yeah.
But like
I've always really liked that movie for some reason.
Fifth Element?
Yeah.
I thought-
Luke Besson, that's his name. He's a French director. He made Lucy as well. But yeah, he's doing the Valerian and the World of 1,000 Planets or whatever, which is supposed to be like one of the original influences of Star Wars. If you'll let me connect to my personal internet.
I mean, Star Wars in general, though, like, it takes its influence from, like, a million fucking things. Like,
But it only takes the best part and it utilizes the best part of
Yeah.
little things. Like the samurai suit Darth Vader, and then
I like the Western feel of things.
the Western feel.
Yeah, like, it's just, there's so much inspiration taken from those classic stories. And, it was, I think it was James Rolfe, the Angry Video Game Nerd. He always said, like, Star Wars is the best because it's every story ever told. which I always thought was just a really cool quote. That's why everybody in the world fucking loves Star Wars. They can relate to it in some way. And, you know, I'm not even really too big on the whole you have to relate something to enjoy it, but that's one of the biggest strengths of Star Wars. It's hard to admit, and they hide it so well with that, like, futuristic fantasy setting. It's fucking genius. And it's continuing to blow our minds. That's why we're getting this little Star Wars renaissance right now, which, who knows? It might be good, it might be bad. There's some people who are saying that there's too much Star Wars right now.
I think the Star Wars series is right where it needs to be. I think it's doing great. I think it's rebranding itself, and it's doing so very successfully. And I mean, the one thing I always like about Star Wars
is it's owned by $1 billion corporation, which is pulling all the strings.
Well, yeah, when you have enough money to put into it, I mean, you'll definitely get a good product.
I mean, Disney knows what's up, man.
Just even like, I don't know, man, just the whole world of Star Wars. I feel like the simplicity behind the whole story, they get their viewer with simple emotion, things like hope and love and family and something to fight for, things that
and laser
all of
swords
us strive for. And what?
And laser swords.
And, well, yeah, of
laser
course.
swords.
Laser sabers.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are Laser Sword.
That's a cool name.
I don't even know what just happened.
He just came out as an 80s rock band called Laser Sword.
Where's your hair metal?
Yeah.
Wait, you need hair.
And tights. And leather. It's the 80s.
Assless chaps.
Wait, now we're getting into some Mad Max shit right now.
You need to come out like you're in Mad Max and then play an awesome guitar.
Oh my god. Just walk away.
Slap it a bass.
Make it greasy so it goes down easy.
Oh boy.
That's Frank Zappa.
To give up. I'm going home.
We're trying here, people.
Yeah,
I think this is entertaining.
Yeah. Anywho, that actually seems like a really good wrap-up point, but we gave our thoughts on Rogue One. We freaking liked it. Star Wars, Naruto, we really don't know what the hell is going to happen with that one.
It's probably going to suck.
It's going to happen, though.
Yeah, it's happening. You know, whether you like it or not, you just need to bend over and just accept
that
it.
nine-tailed CG dick.
9 different times in a row, son. That's right. Well, guys, thank you guys so much for listening to the Powerful Nerdcast. Jordan, thanks for being on the show today.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man.
It's always fun. Great to have someone else on the show. It always makes, I think, for more entertainment. I liked your input on Star Wars as well.
Word.
That is right. Well, guys, thank you for listening. Before we wrap things up, we just want to take a minute to thank Rogue Intel, our network. Because of them, they make this show possible. They allow us to speak our minds and say exactly what we want. If you would like to help support, make sure to check out the Amazon link, which is attached to this. That is Amazon/Rogue Intel. Whenever you guys make purchases, it will help our other shows. It'll go towards the network. We really appreciate it. It won't cost you a thing, and it's the holiday season, so it's the absolute perfect time to do that. For those of you who are checking us out on YouTube, make sure to give us your video topics, your questions. Make sure to tell us what you thought about Rogue One and what you hope to see from this brand new Naruto movie. Christian, you got anything else for us?
Yeah, you guys, make sure and leave us some comments or some user questions so we can answer them next time in the next cast. We were really focused on Star Wars on this one, obviously. But next one, we'll probably do some user-submitted questions, so remember to leave comments. And if you haven't already, subscribe and rate us on iTunes. That helps out the podcast a lot, guys. Thank you so much, and until next time, the Powerful Nerdcast is out.
May the Force be with you.